can you please state your name and what you are a manager of?
Hi, my name is Tiffani Porter, and I'm chapter president of Alpha Chi Omega.
What things do you like and dislike about being a manager of 200 girls?
Definitely, I think the thing I dislike the most would be peer discipline and having to be the person that says, yes and no, you can't do this, and this was wrong, and this is why. A lot of times you have to deal with a lot of legalities and things like that, and that's just a little bit too far on the leadership spectrum for me. But I think my favorite part by far is the friendships that I've made throughout. I had to move back into the sorority house whenever I became chapter president, and by doing that I've made so many friends and really gotten to know so many people on a better level, and I've really, really appreciated that.
Cool. So how do you deal with different personality types?
I would say I'm an individualizer. It's one of my 5 core strengths from the Strength Finders, and so I really like to kind of see a person for who they are and try to relate to them on some way, just on where they are. And that's something that I really think is important in understanding how a person thinks and how a person acts and being able to get along with that person. And so sometimes people are a little bit more difficult than others, but I try to just brush things off and remain calm and neutral and just kind of keep on trucking.
So how do you resolve conflict between girls within the house?
I think the number one thing with resolving conflict is understanding where people are coming from and understanding that there's 2 sides to every story and that each side deserves to be heard and that each side thinks that they're right and the other one is wrong. And so trying to come to like a median conclusion with that and kind of saying, this is what you think is right, this is what you think is right, let's meet in the middle and come somewhere in there. So really just going back and saying, where are you coming from, where do you see the problem, and then moving on from there.
So what is the best characteristic that you found within yourself being a manager?
That's a good question. I think what I've kind of seen in myself is that I have been able to realize, like, I don't want to say self-worth, but being able to understand where I am and if I need to take a break or if I need to go hang out with my friends, or kind of where I am on the spectrum of stress and anxiety and things like that. And really, I guess self-awareness would be the best word, but really understanding, where I am, what I need, and being able to facilitate that in some way.
So what are some good values that you would think a good manager would have?
I think integrity is a big one, and making sure that what you say is what you mean, that you don't go back on that. I think that really can dig you a hole pretty quickly if you go back on that. I think confidence is important just because you have so many people asking you questions and so many people criticizing you, that it's important to be able to say, like, this is what I believe in and this is why, and stand with that. And I think the last thing would be really just being friendly, and I think people are friendly in several different ways. I'm a very outgoing person and I really enjoy getting to know someone, but making people feel comfortable and respecting you that's easy to do when you're friendly.
Awesome. Would you say that you're an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm definitely an extrovert.
And how does that affect your managing style?
Well, I'm always out and about, so I really struggle with making myself, come back to my room and go to sleep every night, because I want to wander around and talk to the 75 girls that I live with and see what's going on, see what's happening, and just kind of be with them where they are. I think that's the best way I've found to be able to manage people. And so really just kind of putting myself out there and saying, hello, how are you, how's it going, and leading that conversation, I think, has really helped me.
Awesome. So finally, how does emotional intelligence affect your managing skills, or you being a manager?
I think emotional intelligence is kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's my biggest trait that I've kind of learned, but it's extremely important. And knowing, when I can reply to an email, when I can't, depending on how I'm feeling, or when I do need to come back to my room, or when I do need to go hang out with all those people that I was just talking about. Just kind of understanding how you are and, like, in your mental state really affects the way that you react to other people in different situations. And so I think it's extremely important to be able to understand where you are in order to relate to other people.
Okay, and finally, do you have any advice for new managers?
I would say just be prepared to fail and understand that's something that's going to happen, but also kind of going back to what I said about things that are important, you still need to have confidence. So even though you know that things are going to go bad, you still need to trust yourself and trust people around you that put you in this position, and just do the best that you can.
Well, thanks for your time, Tiffani.
Of course.